The young niggerette delusion: why black women aren't wasps and shouldn't want to be. This is a critical essay on class mimicry, gender politics, and the betrayal of black collective reality. In the age of curated identities and hyper-individualism, there's a growing class of black women that I previously called young niggerettes who believe that a two-parent household or basic paternal affirmation makes them special. These women don't just view themselves as different from other black women, they increasingly view themselves as adjacent to or on par with white American womanhood. Specifically, they mimic the posturing of upper middle class white WASPs or white Anglo-Saxon Protestants, those whose entire existence is buoyed by systems of protection, insulation, and inherited soft power. But the comparison is not only false, it's deeply dangerous. WASP women are not just affirmed, they are shielded. They exist in a society designed to assume their innocence, preserve their reputations, and center their needs. In the world of white patriarchy, the expectation of the white upper-class woman is simply to exist, marry strategically, and mother occasionally with support systems intact. That is not affirmation, that is infrastructure. By contrast, most black women, including many young niggerettes, have never known such infrastructure. Even those who had a father present rarely experienced systemic protection. A black father's love may be real, but it does not substitute for intergenerational capital, legal shielding, access to elite education, or cultural deference. When a young niggerette tries to model herself after wasps, what she's really mimicking is the aesthetic of femininity, not the substance of protected womanhood. This is the fallacy. Young niggerettes believe they are exceptional because a man, often just one man, their father specifically, told them they were special. So that one man just told her that she was special. Not every other woman, just her. But wasp women are not special because their fathers say so. They are special because the entire society treats them as valuable. Their femininity is a collective assumption. A young niggerette's value, on the other hand, is a negotiation, one that often disappears outside of proximity to the men who initially affirmed her. So let's be clear, there's nothing wrong with growing up loved. There's nothing wrong with a black woman feeling secure in her identity. What's wrong is the delusion of equivalence. A black woman with an involved father is still navigating a world that treats her like a threat, a burden, or a disposable mule. Her job prospects, dating pool, safety, and access to soft living are all shaped by race and class. To pretend otherwise is not self-esteem, it's cosplay. The young niggerette mimics white womanhood, but lacks the social insurance that makes that mimicry safe. She reposts soft life TikToks. She quotes femininity coaches and critiques other black women for being masculine or bitter. But she cannot replicate the conditions that allow white women to live passively. She may speak the language of leisure, but when systems fail, no one shows up for her with generational wealth, lawyers, or political influence. She is at best a bootstrapped version of a lie. This mimicry is also classist. Young niggerettes often define themselves not just by what they have, but by what others lack. I had a father. I have standards. I don't entertain drama. These aren't values, they're distinctions, subtle ways of distancing themselves from other black girls who were not as fortunate. In this sense, they become the female counterpart to conservative talking points. If I made it, then why can't you? The tragedy is that this delusion distances young niggerettes from their own people. Instead of fighting to expand affirmation, they weaponize it. Instead of building better communities, they build individual brands. They mistake proximity to stability as proof of superiority, and in doing so, become agents of alienation rather than transformation. The result is a fractured sisterhood, one in which affirmation becomes hierarchy, in which love is treated as a rare commodity to be hoarded and flaunted, rather than a birthright to be normalized. The young niggerette does not challenge the system that makes affirmation rare. She embraces it. She becomes a curator of scarcity rather than an architect of abundance. Ironically, this delusion also harms the young niggerette herself because she has no community of women behind her. Because the men she idolizes, those who parented well, are often not the norm. And because she will one day encounter a system, a crisis, or a relationship that reveals the truth. She is still a black woman in America, and no amount of cosplay will change that. To be clear, this is not a call for young niggerettes to suffer. It's a call for them to wake up. Your father's love is not a golden ticket. It's a starting point. It should inspire you to fight for every other black girl to feel just as safe, seen, and supported. Not to craft an identity around being the exception, because the world isn't safe for any of us until it's safe for all of us. There is no revolution in being picked. There is no pride in pretending to be a princess in a system that will turn on you the moment you're inconvenient. There is no future in mimicking women who have never had to fight the battles you inherited. Affirmation without analysis is just privilege with no purpose. And let's be honest, WASP women aren't your role model. They have never fought for you. They have never protected your daughters. They have never centered your humanity. So why do you center theirs? Why mimic a performance that was never meant for you, built on scaffolding you'll never access? Black womanhood doesn't need to model itself after soft whiteness. It needs to define itself by truth, care, and collective elevation. Your father's presence was a gift, but your purpose goes beyond it. Stop trying to be like them. Start trying to be more than what you were handed.